Hello everyone and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program with too many mods. Last time we had a sort of successful mission. We managed to do a flyby of the moon, get back to Kerbin, then everything went horribly wrong. The re-entry vessel burnt up on its way back into Kerbin. The pod survived but the parachute wasn't attached to it anymore, and so Valentina ripped. So today we're going to try and do a little bit better. In terms of our missions, we've still got this mission to haul a Valiant liquid engine into higher orbit. We apparently didn't get into a high enough orbit last time, so that's fine. Big mission though is to explore the moon. We need to orbit the moon, gather scientific data, and return from an orbit of the moon. Got plenty of money, so I'm not going to worry too much about picking up any other special contracts here. What I am going to do is upgrade the vehicle assembly building so we can put in a lot more parts. I also want to upgrade the astronaut complex so that, well, we can actually do EVAs, so that means more science, and it also means that Valentina would have survived if we had this. She couldn't bail out because bailing out counts as an EVA. Still gives us over 100 grand to play with. Alright, so I'm going to make a few adjustments to the Kenny and put the thermal control, the thermal pad, immediately underneath our probe core, and we're just going to jettison this space stage. So we're going to jettison the scientific experiments. We can just collect them before we jettison them, so that is no problem. And just in case we end up in the same situation as before, where this goo container burnt off, and I do want the goo container there, it just fits a lot better there. But I'm going to put on a couple more parachutes. And we're going to make some changes to the Kenny's design, give us a little more delta V than we had previously. So I'm going to get rid of this solid booster section for now. Okay, so I've replaced the bottom stage with this liquid-fueled Kodiak engine stage. It doesn't really have either the delta V or the thruster weight. Oh, delta V is wrong, so it's vacuum. Still doesn't have the delta V or the thruster weight that we need. That's fine, we're just going to put on some nice big solid rocket motors on the outside. Okay, this should in theory have the delta V required to enter a quite decent moon orbit and get back in time. I've just put these large Globe X SRBs on the bottom of it. Thrust limit them a fair bit. This is the Kenny Mark II. Same basic design, just with a better launch stage. And we're going to take Jebediah along with us on this one. Go get some experience behind the sticks, see if that makes all the difference to his survival. Okay, so SAS on, thrust to full. Staging looks good. Let's give it a go. Very nice and nippy off the runway, off the launch pad even. Oop, I pitched over far too quickly there. Right, let's revert to launch and give that another go, a little bit less aggressive. Alright, SAS thrust go. Gentle pitch over this time. Yeah, I think the issue is it's a bit too nippy off the launch pad. I'll try once more without the liquid fuel stage burning, and then I'll revert and lower the thrust on these even more. Right, and detach. Okay, this stage needs some kind of better control. I'm just going to put some fins there, so really tuning down the solid stage boosters. This is the first time in a very long time that I've been playing with FAR, the aerodynamic mod, so that might be why I'm having issues, or it might just be my kind of wacky design here. Anyway, let's give it a go. Okay, that solid stage is out. Detach, jet away. They were reconnected, never mind. Now I'm going to try pitch over It's definitely not going to be a very good orbital injection. That's got our APO up to 100 kilometers. Yeah, we're far too vertical here. Never mind. Right, let's see if we can get this thing into orbit with the worst ascent that I've done in a while. Right, that stage is out. Detach. Next stage. Because my orbit's so bad I may well end up re-entering the atmosphere before I circularise with this pretty weak Vesta engine that I've got. Yep, re-entering. Yeah, we're definitely just going to re-enter at this point, so I am going to abort. We've got some science, so I'm going to try and recover this. There we go. We're pointing nice and retrograde. I did a quick EVA report just before the parachute deploys. And splashdown. Okay, so definitely not our finest mission. We do have enough tech to grab general construction, so I'm going to grab that. I'm going to take another stab at this final stage because I don't think this is working for us. Also, the Vesta really isn't a great middle stage, so I'll replace that. Wildcat's probably a better stage for that second one, the orbital injection stage. I'm going to put on the stacked decoupler. I'm going for a bit of a different design. I'm going to go for this bi-stack coupler. Normally I don't deal with these, I just go to the thicker size, but we don't really have thicker sized engines just yet. So I'll try dealing with this one for now. Okay, so put a pair of Wildcats on the bottom of this stage. Are going to need some solid rocket motors to get it a little bit further though. Okay, so with the Wildcats I should have some vector, the gimbaling on them, control this a little bit better. So I'm going to put on a couple of winglets. Alright, let's see how we do this time. Right, 5th time lucky. Right, separation. Not put parachutes on those this time, since we're always at really bad aerodynamic point when those are launching, so the parachutes just destroy. Okay, this is a lot easier to control at least. Right, and detach. Okay, doing quick cheeky EVA. And there we go, in orbit. Okay, made it. So got 2000 delta V to play with. Gonna do the transfer very similar to before. Right, detach that stage, ignite the next one. There we go, get us a nice little intercept around the moon. Plot in a nice little braking manoeuvre. Alright, grab some high altitude things. Hopefully we can actually return these. Alright, get a load of science from high above the moon. Do the mystery goo and the materials out here as well. load of scans low over the moon. Do our capture burn here. Slow us down to we're nice and orbiting. Still got 1000 delta V, plenty to play with. And we're in a nice low orbit of the moon, so I can just go along picking up lots of reports from all the different biomes. It's gonna reduce our orbit a little bit more since we ended up high in space on this side of the orbit. Got enough delta V, so may as well use it. Okay, cool. I think that's everything that we can get here, so time for us to deorbit. So we want to be burning retrograde with respect to Kerbal, prograde with respect to the moon, so I want to burn on this side. Yeah, that's better. Burn this way, so we're coming out retrograde with respect to Kerbal. Make this nice and easy on myself, I'll do this and then adjust it on the way back. Okay, the slight issue is we run out of power, but it's okay, we've got someone to manually turn the engine on, so can just do that. Okay, putting in a course for a 30km intercept over Kerbal. Yeah, and braking here. And 30. So a tiny bit of fuel left, so just going to do one of our circularization attempts. There we go, that burns off the last tiny bit of our fuel. Go. Still 30km periapsis, 1800km apoapsis. Just ensuring we've collected everything into the command pod, and then I'm going to decouple. Give these two stages some time to separate. Right, do a cheeky high altitude EVA report, otherwise we're going to lock ourselves in retrograde. Make sure it's surface retrograde. Okay, the other stage is up there in front of us, burning up. It's a bit of a close pass. Segments of the other stage kind of getting a little closer than I'd like. Right, yeah, so we are very nicely going to return here. Looks like we're going to slow down in time. Take off a fair chunk of our ablator. Electric charge is decent though. Yeah, we've got a collision course with the planet now. There we go, the forces are starting to ease off. Temperature effects are going away. Right, nice. And taking SAS off, deploying the parachute at 5k. We know the single parachute is enough to slow this particular design of pod down, so I'm just going to deal with that one. And main parachute deploy. Let's make this as soft as possible, dropping the other two parachutes as well. And come down on a nice cloudy morning. Should have a nice gentle splashdown. There we go. Recover vessel. Very nice. We got 900 science from that mission. That's brilliant. That's really going to push us along a nice decent way. So many different imaging sciences and EVA sciences from loads of different biomes. Covered about a grand of parts there. Jebediah made it back. So we lost some stages. We did first spacewalk in orbit of Kerbal, orbited the moon for the first time, returned home from the moon, and our first scientific data actually recovered from the moon. And we did save some of our stages, gets us a little bit of money back. Oh, and we did the hauling the Valiants into orbit this time. Okay, cool. And explore the moon mission complete. Nice, so we're now sitting at 500,000. We've got 1,000 science. I'd say that is all very much a success. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please consider leaving a like or a subscribe, really does help. And otherwise, I hope to catch you in the next video. Until then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers!